Crime, criminality and criminal behavior. What is a crime? In simple words, we can define crime as any act violating the basic values or beliefs of any particular society. So all those acts and deeds of an individual or group of people which are against the norms, values and laws of any society comes under the category of crime. So we have established that crime is basically any unlawful act, which means any act that doesn't follow the law of that particular society would be considered as crime. Keep in mind that crime is always punishable by state because we have established that crime is an unlawful act. So whenever there is a violation of law, then there is also a punishment for that act. So we can also say that crime is basically a transgression of rules made by society or community. These rules and the punishment on their violation is usually determined by the criminal code of a country. Okay, enough with the definitions, let's move on to the two types of laws. One is called natural law, and the other one is called man-made laws. Natural laws are same across the world. These laws are according to the nature of human beings. For instance, harming someone is considered unlawful worldwide. This act is crime and naturally not acceptable by any society. Man-made laws are those laws which are formulated by the legislative body of any country. These legislative bodies vary from country to country. In Pakistan, the legislative body is Parliament. All the laws made by legislative bodies of a country are called man-made laws. These laws are also known as positive laws. Unlike natural laws, these laws vary from country to country. They are not same everywhere. Therefore, it may be possible that an act that is considered as crime in one country may be considered as normal in another country. For instance, there are few countries where same-sex marriages is legal. So, in those countries this is a normal act, but the same act in other countries where there is no permission of same-sex marriages is allowed will be considered a crime. In Netherlands, same-sex marriages are allowed, thus it's a normal act there. On other hand, if two persons of same sex marries each other in Pakistan, then it will be a crime, because Pakistani law doesn't allow such marriages. So, we have established that crime will be considered a crime everywhere in natural laws, but if it is related to man-made laws, then the circumstances will be different in different countries. Definition of crime. Keep in mind that there is no proper or official definition of crime because it is socially constructed phenomena, which varies from place to place, time to time and situation to situation. So, crime is what a particular society says it is. The Oxford English Dictionary defined crime as an action or omission which constitutes an offense and is punishable by law. Joseph Stephen defines crime as an act forbidden by law and revolting to moral sentiments of a society. Now let's move to the next concept called criminality. The word criminality means the state of being criminal. It refers to a certain kind of personality profile that is inclined to commit crime. That is propensity evidence such as past criminal record. Criminality is basically the essence of the act upon which the act is referred as a crime. We can further elaborate the concept by considering the two criteria to make the point that either act is crime or not. 1 is the act is danger and really harmful for society. 2 is the act designated in penal code or not. So in the first point, one established the fact that either the act was harmful or not. Once it is established that the act is harmful, then we proceed to the second point and find out whether the act is designated in penal code or not. Once the act is found to be in violation of penal code of country, then it is labeled as crime. If any act is not designated as a violation in penal code, then the act cannot be labeled as a crime. So these are the 2 points through which the act is analyzed to prove its criminality. Here once again an act can be considered as violation or not, as it varies from society to society, time to time and situation to situation. Once again let's take the example same-sex marriages. It is considered a crime in Pakistan but not in Netherlands. In case of time to time variation, we can take example of a murder. Murder of one person by another person is a crime, but the murder of a soldier of one army by soldier of another army is not a crime. So, it basically depends on time, situation or country, etc. Now next move to the next concept, which is criminal behavior. Criminal behavior is all about the facts that why an individual commits a crime. Keep in mind that there is always a proper behavior behind a crime. Criminal behavior is often studied to find out the root causes of crimes to minimize their occurrences. Usually the thoughts, intentions and reactions of criminals are studied to find out the root causes of criminal behavior. Usually there are three main models of studying the criminal behavior. They include psychological model, in which the psyche of a criminal is studied, that how his mental health is, whether he's mentally or biologically different from non-criminals. The other model is sociological model, in which the social perspective of criminal is studied, that what has been the social existence of that person. That is, what were the social circumstances of the person when he committed a crime. Third is biological model, in which usually the criminal is examined medically, to find that if there is any medical issue, due to which the criminal has committed a crime. So, these are three models through which the behavior of criminals is studied, and the purpose studying these behaviors is to find out the root cause which caused an individual to act recklessly and commit a crime. So these were three basic concepts in criminology which have been studied briefly in this lecture. Inshallah, in the next lecture we will study these concepts in details. If you understood the concept, subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon, so you don't miss out the next lectures.